Hi everyone, this is Random Chat, and I'm making yet another rant and rave video about the state of Britain and how things have become. Some of you may be already aware of what's happened in Epping regards to the protesters against the asylum seekers or illegal immigrants, whatever you wish to call them. And the reason why they're out protesting about these asylum seekers is because of this scumbag. He had come to Britain and only been in this country for a few days when he decided it was acceptable to go and assault a schoolgirl. Concerned parents decided to go out and protest about this hotel, which is housing over 100 of these illegal immigrants or asylum seekers, whatever you wish to call them. This person decided to come here to our country and feel it was perfectly acceptable to force himself upon one of the children walking home from school. So it's no wonder why parents are getting very, very concerned in the area for the safety of their children. These parents in Epping are not racist, they're not far right, they're just angry people who just want to feel that their children can walk home safely. Asylum seekers from this hotel regularly hang around outside the school, so some of the residents have pointed out, preying on young children, because in their eyes they are doing nothing wrong. It is acceptable to force yourself upon children and women. There was a case not too long ago regarding this person who hounded a young girl for her telephone number. When she ignored him and refused, it is said that he dragged her down an alleyway and raped her. In court, he pleaded his innocence to the charge. He wasn't denying what he did, he just saw no reason why he should be charged for what he did, because in his eyes, he'd done nothing wrong. And this is a concern these parents in Epping have. The young girl in Epping luckily wasn't raped by this piece of shit. But the fact that they've got 100 or more of these asylum seekers, and it's safe to say they're all male, all roughly between the ages of 18 and 30, because that is all that's coming to this country, it appears. It's only a matter of time before one of the young girls at Epping does end up being raped by these people, because they have no respect regards to children and they have no respect towards women. So I fully support the people in Epping regards to why they're out protesting. They're just concerned parents that want to feel safe in their own town, in their own country, which is what we all want. And yes, this protest in Epping did end up getting a bit on the violent side, but this violence was not promoted by the protesters. The protesters were there peacefully. They were just demonstrating their rights, saying they had enough of it all. The violence occurred only when the police decided to bring anti-protesters right up to the protesters. These anti-protesters, none of them from the area, all of them clearly socialists, left-wing, Keir Starmer voters, the Labour supporters. Even one of them clearly wanted to show that he had the socialist newspaper. Keir Starmer's little worms. These are the ones that think what they're told to think, say what they're told to say, believe what they're told to believe in. They are Keir Starmer's wet dream. These people are weak and traitors to Britain. But worse than these maggots, these socialists, are the police who clearly provoked this violent outburst. Our police force could have put a stop to it by turning these anti-protesters away and telling them to get back on the train. But no, they didn't do this. They escorted them right up to the protest, and then they wondered why things kicked off. And it wasn't the protesters against the asylum seekers that started it all. You could hear all the negative stuff coming from these socialists, these anti-protesters, these Keir Starmer's maggots. And it was thankfully that there was a YouTuber there who was filming it all and wanted to share with us on YouTube of what was really happening at this protest. If it wasn't for this reporter, what you would have seen on the news was these Epping far-right racists out in a violent protest. What you had heard is from the police is that they had to protect themselves against these violent far-right racists, because that is a story that Keir Starmer wants us to hear. That is how Keir Starmer wants the police and the press to present us as far-right racists. But it was lucky that there was a YouTuber there to share the real story of what was happening, showing that the police were promoting violence, how the police clearly wanted this violent episode to happen. So when the police were targeted, their vans vandalized, stuff thrown at them, well, in my opinion, they deserved everything they got. And there was also one scene within that video in which you saw a gentleman on the floor. One person pointed out it looked like he had a broken leg. And the reason for this is that one of the police officers driving a van ran into him. knocked him to the ground, and carried on driving away. I can put money on it that nothing will happen to this police officer. But if you and I did that in a car, you and I would be charged for leaving a scene of an accident, hit and run. But because this is a person in a police uniform running away with his tail between his legs, nothing will get done about it. So a person ended up quite seriously injured thanks to the police. The only problem is, we see this all the time here in Britain, how police come down hard on protesters against asylum seekers and illegal immigrants. And it seems that since Keir Starmer has been in Parliament, running this country as Prime Minister, things have progressed even worse than what they have been. Since Labour has taken control of Britain, this place has fallen apart and become a cesspit. These asylum seekers, these illegal immigrants, know full well that Labour welcome them here, that they will get all the support they need, and under a Labour government, they know people like you and I will be classified as far right or racist just to keep us quiet, because they want us to stop speaking out about what's going on in this country, speaking out about our concerns. Do you think it was acceptable for this person, who'd only been in the country for a short period of time, to carry out an assault on a child? If you were a parent, would you not be concerned? Would you not want to go out and put a stop to this happening to other people's children? But it's not just in Epping, it's all across the country. This piece of shit here, an asylum seeker in this country, thought it'd be acceptable to hound a young schoolgirl and then drag her down into an alleyway and rape her. When he went to court, he pleaded innocent to the crime, because in his eyes he did not commit an offence, because this piece of shit is allowed to do that sort of thing to children and women in his own country. Because he's a man, it is in his rights. He isn't in his country, he's in our country, and he should be following our rules, our way of life. But none of these people coming here do that. They come here and expect us to put up with their way of life, their culture and their ways. We're the ones that are being told we should be diverse. And when we speak out about it, we are called racist, we are called far right. So because I am against what is going on in this country and how it's becoming a cesspit by these asylum seekers, makes me a racist, makes me far right, then so be it, because it has to stop. It is wrong that women, children, now feel unsafe in their own country to walk on the streets. People like this scumbag in Epping have been reported hanging around outside the schools there. So it's no surprise that the parents there are really concerned about it all and want to put a stop to it. I think you and I would do the same. The people of Epping just want to know that their children are safe. And the way things are going in this country now, here in Britain, they're not safe. None of our children are safe. We have people from Africa coming here with their gangland mentality, roaming the streets with machetes, zombie knives, and other weapons. We, the British people, are called far right and racist if we speak out about it, because people like Keir Starmer want to keep us quiet. The press only promotes anything that's far right or racist, that makes protesting look bad, when really most of these protests that's going on in this country are peaceful. They only turn to violence when they are provoked, either by the illegal immigrants, the asylum seekers, anti-protesters, or sad as it may be, by our police. Because it makes good reading for Keir Starmer if the police are promoting that all protesters are far right and racist. So the British people have had enough. We are sick and tired of living in a country that's falling apart. Sick and tired of having to bend over backwards to please these asylum seekers, illegal immigrants. Sick and tired of our taxes keeping them. Sick and tired of hearing about assaults on children, assaults on women, rape, stabbings, murder. Enough is enough. The British people are sick and tired of it all. And when the police are out there doing their best to protect these anti-protesters who provoke violence from protesters, it makes you question on the safety of the British people when it comes to the police, because they seem to be turning a blind eye to what's going on in this country. And I know some people will say they're only doing their job to the level of what Keir Starmer tells them to do. But that's rubbish. These people need to grow some balls and start standing up to Keir Starmer and saying, if one of these people break the law, they pay the price. They should not be brushing stuff under the carpet. They should not be turning a blind eye. They should not be punishing people who are protesting about the negative side of things that's going on in this country. The British people are getting angry. They're getting sick and tired of what's going on. They're getting fed up with our taxes, funding these asylum seekers, fed up with hearing more and more come to our country every single day. And the vast majority of us can see that these aren't coming here for the right reasons. They're coming here as an invasion. They're coming here to destroy our way of culture and our life. These are not asylum seekers who are seeking peace from a war-torn country, because if that was true, they would be bringing their wives, their children here also to safety. But the vast majority of these people on the boats are all men. So are these men just cowards leaving their wives and children in a dangerous country? Or are they coming here for a different reason? But unfortunately, I think our government and our security system are too scared to ask these questions. And if they're not scared, it's clearly they don't care what's going to happen when they get to our land. We all know that cases of rape in this country has increased rapidly since these illegal immigrants are setting foot in our land. There are more and more sexual assaults on children. Crime has risen more and more since these people have been coming to this country. The safety of the British people cannot be guaranteed, as we know that our police force will not help us or protect us from these invaders, because that is what they are. People like this should not be allowed in our country. So I can understand why the people in Epping have gone out in mass numbers protesting outside this hotel and saying they do not want them there. They are saying these asylum seekers put their children at risk, and this piece of shit proves it. So I fully support what the people of Epping are doing, but unfortunately for these people, the council who are housing these illegal immigrants in this hotel will not listen to them, because obviously they're getting a huge handout from the government encouraging them to take in more and more of these illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, whatever you wish to call them. Our government are encouraging hotels to fill their rooms full of these asylum seekers, illegal immigrants. So why is it fully acceptable for the government to fund these illegal immigrants by putting a roof over their heads in these hotels, but it's not acceptable to do the same with our homeless people, British homeless people? The priority should be here at home. There's an old saying, charity begins at home. We need to look after our own people, the ones who are on the streets, to no fault of their own. But that's not happening here in Britain. We are prioritising these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers. So you will see more and more issues, such as what's going on in Epping, grow across this country. And we will hear more and more children being assaulted on the streets by these illegal immigrants, these asylum seekers. There will be more and more cases of women sexually harassed, raped, simply because these people clearly think it's acceptable to do so, especially in their culture, in their way of life. And why should we put up with this? Why should we have to live in a country in which people are too worried to go out on the streets just to do the day-to-day basics, such as go to the shop, our children being able to walk to school safely? Because that's not happening in this country anymore. Children cannot walk to school or walk home from school safely anymore. So is that the Britain that we want children to grow up in? Personally, I think it's completely and utterly wrong. The Britain I knew when I was a child is long gone. This is not my Britain. This is not my country anymore. And thanks to people like Keir Starmer and the Labour Party are doing their utmost best to make sure this isn't our Britain anymore. The British people have had enough. So if you are going to go out and protest, do your best to do it peacefully. Show these left-wing socialists that we are not racist. We are not far right. We're just concerned British citizens. So that's it for now. That's my ranting and raving over and done with on this subject. And if you agree with me, give this video a thumbs up and feel free to hit that subscribe button. And keep an eye on my channel, because there will be plenty more rantings and ravings about the state of this country coming from me. Because unfortunately, this country is turning into a cesspit. And no doubt at some point in time, I will be classified as a racist, a terrorist, a white supremacist, a member of the far right, and end up being targeted just to keep me quiet. But until that time, I will keep on ranting and raving. And even when they do decide to try and shut me up, you're not going to succeed. This is our Britain. This country belongs to the British people, not them. And I know some of you might think this is a bit racist, and it may come across that way. So that's it for now. I'm Random Chat, and I hope you like this video. And until the next time, stay safe and goodbye.